Good afternoon, everybody. Pastor Chris from Sandy Level Baptist Church. We are going to put out a brief video today just as a method of reaching out to the church body, to the community, to anyone who wants to listen. Today is a new day in the state of South Carolina. Although the COVID-19 virus landed on our shores weeks ago, today just seems different. All the schools in the state are closed for good reason. Many families are scrambling for childcare. Life became more difficult for most people across our state today. These changes are stressful. Families will need to adapt. Some need to find childcare. Kids need to learn how to learn outside of the classroom. And churches will need to adapt to the dramatic shift that has happened in our community, in our society as a whole. As we begin this journey together, I encourage you to remember these three verses of Scripture. Colossians chapter 3, verse 15. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you are called to peace, and be thankful. Christ desires for his peace to rule in our hearts. He does not want us to be anxious or fearful. That's not his desire, and it never has been. We need God's peace in our hearts right now. Our families need God's peace in our hearts. Our community needs God's peace in our hearts. Pray that the Spirit of God that is living in us would well up in a way that gives us God's peace. Next, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Most people who read this will have already flipped their lids once or twice. Maybe you've screamed at your spouse or fussed at your children for just simply breathing too loudly or something like that. Guilty. Our suffering, though, is not hidden from God. Our struggles are not hidden from God. Our stress is not hidden from God. God is waiting to hear from you. He can handle everything you bring at him. Sometimes it is beneficial for us to cry out or literally scream out to God. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, and he's waiting to hear from you. John 16:33. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world, says Jesus. He knew that this day was coming. God has known that the COVID-19 virus would disrupt life as we know it. The United States of America has changed because of what has happened according to a tiny little virus. But God has known all of this. Exercise the victory in Christ in your life today. Know that these troubles do not change our eternal destiny. If you have not trusted Christ with your life, then it's time to have a conversation. And I encourage you to reach out via email or give me a call. We have a few things we'd encourage you to pray for today. Beginning today, I'd like to ask you to pray for the leaders of our nation, our state, and even our town. Pray for President Trump, Governor Henry McMaster, and Brian Franklin, these leaders. Give our leaders wisdom, Lord, as they face a monumental task. James chapter 3, verse 17 says, but wisdom that comes from above is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Pray that God's wisdom would be given to our leaders. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Pray that God will give boldness to these leaders during this time of crisis. And finally, pray that God will give them strength to face criticism that has already and will continue to come their way. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. Be on alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. These gentlemen have very difficult tasks ahead of them. Please pray for them. Pray for God's leadership and guidance in their lives. And finally, for our church community, a few announcements that we'd like to share. Number one, our deacons will be meeting tonight to prayerfully discuss how we will continue to minister to our church body and the community in Blythewood at this time. This week, all other activities are canceled. Only our deacons meeting is still on for this week. Please reach out to us if you have any specific prayer requests or needs. We have already had volunteers reach out offering assistance to to pick up items that may be needed by some people in our community that are not able to acquire groceries or other like items that are needed that for people who are not able to obtain them or get them easily. Please know we're evaluating recommendations from the state and federal government as we form plans for the coming weeks regarding our regularly scheduled worship services and ministries to our community. I'm Pastor Chris from Sandy Level Baptist Church. We thank you for watching this short video. Go in peace.